Sesungguhnya dia ada di yang tadi itu aku. Nah ini kan ada nih. Karena kau telah menemukannya, sesungguhnya dia ada di dekatku. Datuk ini susah banget biasanya. Ada yang susah. Woi susah banget bicara, kenapa ya? Cincin, Yan, oi, cincin siapa? Oi, 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 oi. Cincin, tolong ketikin ini dong, ketikin tanda seru donet. Ketikin ini dong, ketikin ini dong. Ketikin ini. Nah, coba ketik. Bro, tolong ketikan bro. Mong, kecewa sih. Kecewa. Sesungguhnya dia hari mau unsuk kecewa parah. Nanti sih parah bisa nih. Loh, kok ngulang di sini?
Lynette should be here right now.
Bentar. Ini harusnya ada sini sekarang.
Strange.
As expected, Zijwin isn't here, but why isn't Lynette here?
Gak bisa dipencet, kampret.
No, Lynette rarely deviates from the plan. We agreed that if she were to make changes on the fly, she'd find a way to let me know.
Ini jarang belok dari rencana kami.
Unless...
Kecuali
Let's see if there are any clues around here. We can look while we wait for her. Who knows? Maybe she'll be back soon.
Okay.
set. Orang kan harus ini. Satu.
There are some books here and a few files. They all look like medical records. Advanced nursing, how to raise the spirit of your patients. These sure are some interesting books. Who knew Zijwin would be interested in these kinds of things? She even has books on understanding.
Seems quite normal. None of the beds have any signs of having been slept in, except that one over there.
That's the one Lynette must have used, right? You said
She would have said her migraine was having, which means either the head nurse didn't return the entire time from when Lynette laid down up until she left the bed, or...
Benar. Bentar coy, kita cek dulu. Oh begitu. Oke, nice. Bentar coy, kita cek dulu. Oh begitu. Oke, nice. Iya ada. Bentar coy, kita cek dulu. Kampret. Oh begitu. Oke, nice. Iya ada. Bentar coy, kita cek dulu. Kampret. Oh begitu. Oke, nice. Iya ada. Bentar coy, kita cek dulu. Kampret. Oh begitu. Oke. sabar dan sabar. Kok deskripsinya nggak ada ya? Sebentar Gus, saya mau cek dulu Gus. Ternyata deskripsinya nggak ke itu, kampret. Sabar, ganti deskripsi dulu. Kok nggak kayak ini sih? Nah, oke, cek dulu ini benar. Kategori gamenya mana nih? Kok bisa nambah kategori game? Enggak, udah mana? Nanya aja lah. Bentar. Gas bro. Oke, let's go. TW mana Genshin? Ini. Sabar loading. Semoga nggak ngulang lagi, cok. Kampret. Lama banget loadingnya. Ku rasa hanya kamu aku rela menunggu. Oh, ini nih yang ke bawah tuh ya. Ada lubang nggak sih?
This is it! We saw it before!
Wait, this thing? It doesn't look like it's been disguised that well.
Oh, geser dulu.
The space behind it is empty. From its size, I don't think it's an entrance that is meant to be taken apart. There's probably a mechanism around here somewhere. Could Lynette have tried to get inside? But if that's the case, she would have contacted me for sure. Let's look around here.
Dia jelas panik jangan. Ya ampun kucing, ngapain kamu kucing?
Hey, you guys, there's a slip of paper over here!
A slip of paper?
Hey!
It's right over here, and there's a bunch written on it too. It reads, out of respect for your card as the medium to pass on my message, you may consider this. Is that all? The back.
Show me, now!
Apaan tuh, Bang? Ini.
That look on your face. Paimon's reading it. Would you care to guess where Miss Lynette of the Fatui could be right now? No. Could she have? Is she already?
Tidak mungkin apa dia.
Precisely. Did he deliberately leave the infirmary unguarded to use it as bait?
Wait, you mean he was aware of our goals from the very beginning? But Why? We didn't run into any trouble last time, and he also never reached out to us since.
Yes, that is a crucial question. Risley, he doesn't do anything without a clear goal or reason. So this means you're not from the same camp as us. You were sent down here by Nervulet, so you have no conflict of interest with Risley. We're a completely different story, though.
Bener juga, kenapa cuma lihat dong?
I'd like to know that too. Why did he only go after... Don't panic, just think everything over. I have to stay calm. This is not like what happened... Wait, you're right. Wait, the fact that Fremine was able to leave the grounds... Could Risley have let him go as well?
What does he gain by letting Fremine leave like that?
Dia sengaja menyiapkan mereka berdua. What?
Challenging me and trying to provoke me, I'm sure of it. We never should have sent out Fremine. We had to go through all that trouble to find an opening to sneak him around the guards, and if Risley let him leave on purpose, then he's probably in a terrible spot.
Lenny's getting more and more panicked. We have to calm him down. Don't be like this, Lenny. Fremine wouldn't have left if we hadn't told you about Child. That was our fault.
No, I'm the leader of this operation, and I'm the one responsible.
Traveler, please talk some sense into him.
I simply cannot allow Lynette to be abducted again. I have to go. I'll find a way to get them back.
Let's go, let's go.
He's rushed out the door. After him.
Ayo kejar. Udah ada si Gwen. Wah, senyuman itu, Cok.
I feel like we still have some room to make changes on these details.
Senyuman jahat, guys. Sebenarnya masih ada detail yang bisa diubah-ubah.
It's not impossible, but it'll require extensive testing.
Lanjutan.
Is that so?
Widih, Kak, baiklah, Kak.
Very well.
Perhatikan
Then
aku.
please. Huh?
Is someone?
Pack everything up. Whoever's outside is eavesdropping. They'll probably come in once we stop talking. Someone! Please help!
Oh, begitu, bro.
Whoa, are you okay?
These two. As expected, they've already found this. What a delightful turn of events. I like smart people, but I also like playing dumb. Oh my! What's wrong, little one? There's no need to panic. Being able to read human expressions is quite the useful skill.
Si Gwen.
Wait!
Kejar, bro.
It's no use. We have to catch up to him.
Kenapa nggak bisa dikejar? Halo, Pahmi.
He's already out of
Kata
sight.
boy,
How is he so
anjay.
fast? Let's go head him off at Risley's office.
Kita ke bawah, guys. Infokan nasi kotak. Bro, infokan nasi kotak, bro. Infokan nasi kotak. Apaan tuh?
Come out and face me, Risley!
Hemat dulu, hemat aja dulu. Anjay.
Aren't we at an administrative office space?
Iya dah,
Why don't you at
kegedean dah.
least try to follow even a couple
Infokan
rules from
sudah
the
segini, bro.
fortress's indoor management regulations?
Sudah kecil kan. Isen laptopnya lagi di servis, Cok. Pengen main Valo, pengen main kan lebih bisa, cah. Zurung jeri.
What did you do to my sister?
Suara game Zurung. Infokan bulu.
I ran into the young miss at the infirmary. I'd heard that she was suffering from quite the migraine, so I decided to
Woi,
invite her
infokan,
over for a
Cok.
cup of tea.
Waduh, malah nol
I do have
penontonnya
some teas
kocak.
in my collection that can
Udah,
work
Bi.
wonders against such an illness.
Saya suruh infokan. Nah, wis. Nah, sip.
Stop joking around! Where did you take my siblings?
pengen main Halo langka laptopnya cah.
I
Servis.
have also heard that your performances are quite the spectacle. Miss Lynette would sometimes enter a box filled with water, only to emerge the next second from... Maybe she'll appear behind you right now if you were to turn your head.
Is he trying to trick me into turning
Gas
my
follow
head?
di baru langka laptopnya
He's
sempak.
probably not looking to attack me right now.
Laptopnya
All
langka,
the
Cok.
hostages are in his hands, and he's even in the mood for small talk.
Laptopnya di
That means
servis
Lynette is
murid dah.
probably still alive.
Ngecet apa ya gitu ya, ambil enak nih. Servis cah, laptopnya cah. Dia mau bikin aku menoleh, tidak. Dia sepertinya bukan mau menyerang sekarang. Semua tawanan ada di tangannya dan dia bahkan punya waktu buat omong kosong. Berarti Lynette masih hidup. Betul
You
juga.
knew we were investigating the infirmary from the start, so you deliberately aroused the traveler's suspicions and baited us into continuing our investigation just so that you'd be able to kidnap Lynette. As for Fremine, no, you probably didn't
Di
even interfere
Wesu,
with Child's
Dasira di
escape.
Wesu.
You let him go so you could purge the Fatui members that we had planted into your ranks.
Tidak, kamu bahkan tidak menghalangi ketika Cilda melarikan diri. Dia dibayarkan pergi agar kamu bisa membersihkan anggota Fatui yang sudah menyusup ke tempatmu.
There was no need to do so. The fortress of... enjoy their lives here. The only ones who act differently are those with personal agendas. It was quite easy to identify your colleagues.
You removed our original members and spread the news
Wis
of
gitu,
Child's
wis balik
escape so Father would
sawit
assign our team to come down
dino
and
Sabtu.
investigate.
Dino
Fremine
Jumat
is
bengi
also
bengi
fallen
Sabtu.
into your hands, right? If you're oh so omnipotent and
Terus
so
pas
in
lagi
control, why
Sabtu
would you
tak
need
servis
hostages?
laptopnya gitu, isuk-isuk servis laptop. Turun balik tapi laptopnya.
One correction. Lynette is in my hands right now, but Fremine is not.
He's not.
Hah?
What's
Lenny!
Oh, wonderful. Everyone is here, so I'll only need to say this once. Thank
Gimana
you so
Lynette dan
much for
Ferminet?
cooperating with me.
Femin. Nih Fatui.
Eager and to the point, I see. Alas, only Miss
Saat
Lynette
ini
is
Nona
currently having
Lynette
to
sedang
cover the
menikmati
fortress's
secangkir teh
finest
hangat di
tea.
benteng.
Although, as per your original plan, Mr. Fremine should also have returned to the fortress by now. But he has neither shown up within my gates, nor has he been taken into any kind of custody. So, where do you think he may be right now?
Wait, you can't mean.
Ora rusak. Rusak ya, harus servis ya. Iki apa namanya, baterai kalau beli gelem ngecas, jadi itu kudu nyolok terus. Makanya saya tak beres sih.
You locked him outside in the sea?
I closed the fortress's gate to the outside world.
Fremine's a star diver, so he should be fine, right?
No, we're still here, so he definitely tried to find a way to
Cok.
come back for us. So we can't assume he might have made it
Sebenarnya
right
mah
to
di
the
apa ya
surface.
kita mengkonon gue ya. Performanya naik terus kan hari karo di cas. Cuma misalnya tak kawanin kampus gitu kudu ngecas, misalnya ngecasannya rungkat. Soalnya ada ini sini kok beli di kun apa namanya? Misalnya misalnya guna nong laptop jangka panjang beli di karo di cas. Soalnya laptop zaman sih kan canggih kan. Misalnya main
But why would
apa
I do
misalnya
this?
guna
You
nong
may be
laptop
asking.
jangka panjang
To have an
harus
audience
di
with you, of
cas.
course. My intel
Nah
tells
di
me
ini kan
Mr. Linney is a
oro
great
jadi
magician,
di
so it's
cas
only
full,
natural for me to want to have
cabut,
some cards of my
low,
own when it comes to
colok maning
negotiating.
sampai full. Jadi yang ngedrop kononku emang paling bener ku misalnya pengen jangka panjang dicolok terus.
Besides, I do recall you mentioning to
Mini
Miss
langgol,
Lynette
mini
that
gol.
you've always
Live
wanted to
goal,
have a
live goal,
face-to-face
mini goal.
meeting with the Lord of the Fortress
Nah
of
gitu.
Verapede.
So, you've been keeping tabs on us before we even set foot in the fortress.
Kamu emang sudah mengawasi jejak sebelum kami dibanding ini.
Some of my folks just happened to hear a thing or two, that's all. In any case, I will
Baiklah,
be
aku
straight
langsung ke
with you.
intinya deh.
I was willing to play dumb
Bagian
and
isi
turn a
daerah
blind
tutup
eye
mata
so
dan
we had a
pura-pura
pleasant few
bodoh
days
dan
playing games together here. But once you started focusing on the Forbidden Zone,
Tapi
all
saat
that
kalian
changed.
mulai fokus ke zona terlarang, keadaannya berubah.
Mr. Linney,
Situasi
the cards are stacked against you right now.
kurang baik untuk
Miss
Tuan
Lynette
Lini
is in
ya.
my hands, and Mr.
Nah,
Fremine
Lynette
is still
ada di
slowly
tanganku
being
dan
pickled
Tuan
out
Lini
there in
masih
the brine.
berendam di luar.
You know just as well as I that it cannot last out there forever. you need do but one thing to guarantee their safety. I would like you to contact your superior, and ideally invite her over for a cup of tea with me.
You want to see Father? But why should she bother
Ah,
giving
yeah.
you an audience?
Well, if she cares for the well-being of her dearest children, she should have plenty of
Bisa
motivation
dong
to join me for a
datang ke
parents' evening.
pertemuan orang tua bareng. Orang tua bareng.
I've heard that the bonds between the members of the House of the Hearth are like the bonds of family. I don't see why she would refuse.
Buset, ini 11 yang nonton nih, di boost lah jerih.
Why did you think
Apa
Father
ngebug?
sent us to handle the fortress of Meripede? This place is basically a no man's land.
Soalnya
It
kita belum
wouldn't
bisa
be fitting
nge-boost.
for anyone as important as a harbinger like Father to come here in person.
Panas bolo.
I see. So it's because she doesn't care for my place here. That's such a shame. After all, I've amassed quite the tea collection. I was looking forward to sharing it with her. Both Monsieur Neuvillette and Lady Farina have already received many samples as gifts.
Was this the extent of your master plan to get to Father? No matter how much pressure you may put on me, I won't allow you to use us to blackmail her.
People really are difficult to get along with. All I'm asking for is a face-to-face conversation. Does she truly have no interest in the fortress's secret?
Bro, pakai TT ya tuh. Lah, apa sih jerih?
Mr. Linney, you have one last chance to invite your
Jelas,
father.
udah jelas bro.
If you refuse,
Coba donate jerih. Muncul link layar lu jerih. Tuan Lini, ku beri satu kesempatan terakhir untuk
Winnie!
instead of asking why I'm doing this, why don't you try to see things from my... I gave you a warning by cutting off the first few operatives I found, but that only caused you to double down. Had you given up on the fortress then and there, I'd have no reason to want to talk. Mr. Fremine left the fortress on his own, and Miss Lynette tried to pry out my secrets right in front of me. No matter how you look at it, the responsibility for this falls on me.
I shouldn't ask Father to do anything because of us.
6, 5, 2, time's up.
Riley!
Negotiations have broken down. Please leave, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for my...
Yeah, listen to the traveler. If you can't talk to Linny, can you at least talk to us?
Tapi bisa kan ngomong sama kami.
You do realize
Loh,
that I'm
tiba-tiba
only letting
satu.
you go because of no
Ah jerih, pakai lagi
Yes,
tokotopnya jerih. Mantap.
you're here helping him out,
Kacor Kang.
and I've already done my best to stay out of your way. But that doesn't mean you can just do whatever you want. The fortress may be small and remote, but it still has its own set of laws.
Tolong lepaskan Linet, aku mau tolong Verminet dan Linet lah. Tolong dah.
Then how about this? Those who are capable deserve respect. You've spent quite some time investigating my home turf, so why don't you tell me a thing or two about
Ini
what you
kami
found?
kocak.
I'll ask you 3 questions. Answer all of them correctly, and I'll agree to your request.
Pengen main apa nih kan aja jerih? Main Valo lu bisa main ngustik cah.
Question 1. Regarding the hidden rules of the production zone, what is the truth behind the one about not being allowed to work for 3 days?
Dia malah bertanya soal aturan tersembunyi, rasanya karena dia kalau kerja terus tanpa istirahat maka akan ada daging aneh dijatuh makan siang hari ketiga. Untuk kita sudah selidiki semuanya sampai tuntas. Coba diingat-ingat lagi deh petunjuknya, harusnya bisa ketemu jawabannya. Oke, siap. Yang melanggar aturan tersembunyi zona produksi akan dikasih daging merah, daging aneh pas makan siang di hari ketiga. Buy one gitar hero, beli ngerti tuh, beli ngerti gitar hero. Wah, sumpah lu bisa dipencet, cok. Bukunya, cok. Kang sebelah kanan. Kang paling kanan. Wah, kacau, cok, lu bisa dipencet. Among Us. Boleh sih Among Us. Boleh sih, Taska. Kapan nih Among Us, bro? Let's go, bro. Tapi Discord lah, kocak. Kalau nggak Discord mah percuma. Bentar, tadi itu apa ya? Daging, oh daging aneh ya. Daging aneh. Bilang bangsa melihat dunia dengan cara yang berbeda dari manusia, karena itu. Oh. Aduh, lupa, cok. Gas. Nanti Mi. Sabar ya, tamatin ini dulu, cok. 4.1. Soalnya bentar lagi 4.2, coy. 4.2 fonten kayak Jakarta, cok, tenggelam. Laporan internal Fonta menyebutkan bahwa mereka sedang mengadakan uji coba untuk produk yang baru yang diberi nama atau kemasan. Uji coba wajib diadakan. Saya sering lihat hasil. Apa ya? Lupa, cok, harusnya. Coba kasih ini dah. Terus kasih yang tadi mana? Nona. Oh ya. Cocok nggak kira-kira? Oh salah, duanya, cok. Aduh, ini nggak bisa. Nice, tinggal dikit. Ini boleh nih. Berarti satunya sama Fonta ya. Lah masih salah ya. Aduh, lupa, cok, ceritanya anjrit. Gimana sih? Lupa anjrit. Fonta ya. Tadi nih. Nah, lupa, cok, jalur ceritanya anjrit. Paimonnya nggo kacamata kun maning dong, kampret. Dia sering datang ke zona produksi buat memeriksa kesehatan para pekerja. Terus dia catat orang yang kecapean karena turut karena
and doesn't want anyone to find out about what she does. However, unfortunately, Melazines as a race perceive the world differently from humans, and their sense of aesthetics is even more alien to us. The recipients of her lovingly prepared special meals cannot taste the care within and usually just freak out. Are we on the right track?
Not bad. You've uncovered Sijuin's secret and even guessed her intentions correctly as well. It's nice to know that her efforts have not gone unacknowledged. Alright, now for my next question. There are also some hidden rules in the Pancration Ring, including the one that you're not allowed
ini baru Fonta nih kalau salah ya.
Why is that?
Aku ingat kalau ada pendukung kedua petinju di saat bersamaan, dia akan dapat paket berisi cairan merah darah yang aneh keesokan harinya. Kita juga sudah jadi coba berikan lagi jawabannya. Oke. Kan pertama kan ini cairan merah. Terus kalau salah itu tuh Fonta. Fonta itu yang mana berarti ya?
The Fonta promoter has been struggling because he doesn't. The research notes said that the Melusine race.
Kayak ini dah.
Internal reports suggest that they're starting a new trial of an unnamed and unpackaged.
Ya ini.
The Fonta promoter has been struggling.
Nah, satunya paling kanan nih harusnya nih.
According to
Nah, bisa dipencet, Cok. Alhamdulillah.
tournament only took place because the
Apa ini pertama ya, yang paling kanan ya? Oh ya, berarti pertama dah. Soalnya sponsor dulu harusnya. Ya Allah, bisa dipencet maning dong.
the research notes said
Ih, kenapa ya? Kenapa nggak bisa dipencet anjir kalau live tuh? Kalau pakai Streamlab yang nggak bisa dipencet di tengah. Di tengah bagian sini, tengah nggak bisa.
struggling because he doesn't.
Kalau pakai
value of coupons.
apa nih? Prisma dah. Prism. Prism Live yang nggak bisa dipencet sebelah kanan, Cok. Sebelah sini nih yang buku paling kanan nih.
We often see
Ya.
this seed.
Udah lah, salahin dulu ya.
Fonta promoter has. The Fonta promoter has been struggling because Fonta's internal reports suggest
Salahin dulu dah. Ah, nggak bisa mencet anjir.
we often see Miss C. The research notes said that
Nice. Nah, baru bisa pencet.
Collins, the pancreation. Fonta's internal report. The Fonta promoter has been.
Nah, kan bener kan yang pertama itu kampret lah. Nggak bisa dipencet, Cok.
Paimon gets this rule too now. So there really was nothing to be afraid. That hidden rule of the pancreation ring.
Enggak boleh pasang taruhan untuk kedua.
People
Kalau
are
buan,
supposed
kalau
to
dosen
pick
dapat
up both
cairan.
boxes at the same time. People get scared when
Takut
they're
waktu
seeing because they
lihat itu secara
subconsciously
nggak
begun to associate it with the missing boxer. But really, it's just a bottle of the latest yet to be named and packaged new Fonta trial product. A blood red drink. It's no wonder even Fonta's own staff were questioning the company's decision making. The company, facing backlash from its own staff, decided to try to trial the product on a smaller scale to see how it might be received by customers. They came to the fortress of Meropide and offered to sponsor the pancreation tournament so they could push their new product. But they completely refused to even entertain.
Kenapa dah? Impokan bolo. Tes. Oke, ada. Mereka datang ke benteng. Oh,
The Duke, knowing how valuable coupons are in the fortress, knew that only total idiots who didn't understand their true value. And so, only those who proved their stupidity by being dumb enough to bet on two opposing sides of the same match were selected to receive the drinks.
I acknowledge the effort you've put into bringing the truth of this mystery to light. Although, based on your description, that Fonta promoter is a bit too
tapi di
careless for
Fonda
its
nih
words.
jarang banget perang, Cok. Quest Archonnya jadi kurang seru gitu. Kurang menantang gitu. Cuma yang bikin serunya di Fontaine itu teka-tekinya, Cok. Seru banget. Gokil lah. Kalau si marketing Fonda itu mulutnya ember bocor ya, mungkin kayak aku harus kan orang kerjasama dengan pihak mereka.
All right, and here's the final question.
Apa rahasia
What's the secret
suster
behind our
kepala
head
dan
nurse
semua
and
pasien di
all of
klinik?
her patients in the infirmary?
You know that we haven't finished our investigation, so there's no way we can answer the last question. The thought of sparing Lynette and Fremine never even crossed your mind. You'll pay for this!
Kenapa tuh?
Ah!
Huts, kenapa tuh?
Lenny, are you alright?
Ditembak kah?
Oh, close one. I owe you, Siege Wing. That was a fantastic shot.
Tuh kan si Gwen kan.
It was nothing, Your Grace. Sejuin?
Si Hyun.
This gun may look like a toy. It's actually fully functional, as I just demonstrated.
Wing.
Kamu bertanya.
Not at all. I am merely a resident of the fortress, and thus protecting it is my... When Monsieur Nervulet asked me to come here, he told me that my job would be to take care of the well-being of everyone here. I am merely discharging my duties. But if you mean what you just said, then isn't Linny someone you should be looking after as well? Isn't he a resident here just like the rest of us? But I really am just doing what Monsieur Nervulet told me to do. Everything I did, I've done to protect them. Had I not, they would be in far more dire straits right now. His Grace knows it too, right? Your Grace? Mind proving...
My dear Siege Wing, whatever shall I do with you? Would it have killed you to just wait another minute or two?
Well, it's nearly time after all. The way you do things can be truly frustrating sometimes, Your Grace. I figured I should try to talk some sense into you.
Jadi aku pikir tidak ada.
What are you talking about? What time?
Take me if you want. But let them go.
How touching. Can you just give me one more minute?
Don't be like that, Your Grace.
All right, everyone, calm down. 2 more visitors will be... I'll go get a cup of tea. Miss Siegeween, I leave Miss Lynette in your care.
Apa nih?
I believe I hear footsteps.
Ada yang datang nih. Apakah itu Fatui atau siapa?
Some space, please.
Klorin.
Ah, Miss Clarand. I don't...
Fremine. Fremine.
Lah,
What's going on? What is Clorin doing here?
Work.
singkat padat jelas nih bocah.
I'm sorry about shooting you, Mr. Linney. The tranquilizing effect will begin to wear off soon. Please?
What happened to Fremine? Was it like...
Freminet.
Flushed face.
Kenapa nih bocah?
Accelerated pulse. He must have consumed primordial seawater.
Ah, lautan primordial.
What did you...
Please, make some space. I'll need to give Mr. Fremine a more thorough checkup.
Oh, baru nih next 4. Quest Archon 4.2 itu.
And while you get Fremine to where he needs to be, everything else can wait.
Wow. Kita bicara sama Linei dulu. Hai Linei. DLC.
It would be best if he stayed for further observation. Let's leave him here for now and move him to the infirmary
Kalau
once
sudah
he's
agak
recovered a bit more.
baik, baru kita bawa ke klinik.
Sorry, I am aware that the infirmary may not...
Just a large amount of primordial seawater after leaving the fortress. How could
Lah,
it possibly happen?
Kenapa cok? Like, halo? Nah, sebentar teman-teman. Sebentar. Bentar. Balas chat dulu, Cok. Aduh, berapa? Let's go lanjut. Kita lanjut.
Please, look after Mr. Fremine for the moment. I'll go fetch some medicine and a respirator. Oh, I'll bring Miss Lynette back with me.
Sampai baterai habis dah. Kalau nggak sampai sore jam 4. Jam 4 bentar lagi kocak ternyata.
Where is she?
Udah sampai jam 5 dah.
How is she right now?
Oh, she just took a nap in an empty room after I tranquilized her. If my calculations are correct, she should also be waking up right around now. You might know.
Kayaknya mulainya berhenti tegang. Sepertinya dia percaya sama urusan.
What's that look on your face? I thought I made good time on the way back.
Oh, I'm just admiring your punctuality. Had you arrived just a few minutes later, Sijuin may have been forced to shoot Mr. Lenny again. How's the situation out there?
The water has changed. It's pretty much as expected. The concentration
Loh.
of primordial seawater has increased significantly.
The fuck?
I was only out there a short time, so it wasn't too bad. But if one were to stay for any significant amount of time, well, you can see how that would.
Where was he when you found him?
The abandoned zone at the end of the pipes. A good distance into the water.
Closer than I thought. He must have recognized it early on and tried desperately to swim back.
Locking the door was necessary. I don't think we could have saved two.
Well, I did try to convince him that I had my reasons. Never seems to work, though.
It would probably work on Millionette. He has a knack for picking out who had good intentions, even when the outcomes were all terrible.
It's a bad sign if you're having to plead your... Want some tea?
Not particularly. If you want to drink some that badly, just say...
Fine. I'd like to get some...
Might as well then, I suppose. Actually, do you have a towel? I would like to dry my hair.
Aku juga punya.
Linny, are you okay?
I'll be fine. They're all here now. Don't worry about me.
Are you sure? You don't...
My hands and feet are still a bit weak, but that...
I'm back, everyone.
Nah, ini dia. Lynette, halo.
Lenny! Oh, Traveler, I'm... Fremine?
He'll be fine. But for now, please help me lift him up.
Lini dan Lynette langsung. Halo Bolo, welcome.
his breathing's beginning to slow down.
Baru 44 menit ternyata.
Give me a hand and help me get him to the infirmary.
Yeah, I'll take him from this side. Lynette, together?
On it. Traveler, you seem pretty worried about him. Want to come with us?
Mau ikut mau. Tahi.
The Duke and Clarande are gone.
Ke atas tadi.
They probably went to get some tea. The Duke will explain the truth in just a bit. Miss Clarande will need a break, since she only just...
Iya nih, apa yang terjadi nih bro? Saya penasaran bro. Tinggalkan kantor. Kan T-O-R kantor. Cooper. Males ah. Apa Apakah kita bisa baca? Tidak. Ke atas lagi ya. Liftnya mana ya? Sebelah mana liftnya? Sebelah sana. Waduh, nggak bisa ganti karakter yang kedua, ketiga, cok. Biasanya satu doang. Tafak. Berarti masih mending Streamlab dong. Streamlab cuma nggak bisa dipencet di tengah doang. Jadi kanan kiri masih bisa, ini bener nggak bisa, cok. Daerah atas loncat sampai banet ke di atasnya ngeker. Di sini nggak bisa, di sini bisa nggak ya? Bisa di ini nggak? Bisa dicoret-coret nggak sih? Nggak bisa ya? Nggak bisa dicoret-coret ya? Ya intinya sih begitu. Oh ternyata bisa ngetik di sini. Coba. Apa ya? YouTube. YouTube. Tuh bisa ternyata. Bisa ngetik juga. Baru tahu gua, cuy. Apa yang tadi harus buka YouTube ya? Jauh-jauh banget. Nah,
We're way behind schedule.
kembali ke klinik bersama Freminet. Nggak bisa perang dong ini kalau nggak bisa dipencet dua karakternya. Nah tanggi bocah ke. Ntar guys mau ambil jaburan, cok.
How do you feel?
How you feel? I'm good.
Lenny. Lynette.
We're all here.
Where am I?
The infirmary at the Fortress of Maripede, Mr. Feminine. And you are no longer in any danger. How do you feel? Don't push yourself if you're not feeling up to it.
Traveler. Paimon.
Yes, I'm here.
It's been so long. The sea. There's something wrong with the seawater.
Shh, it's okay. We can talk about it after you've recovered.
No, listen to me. This is really serious. There's primordial seawater mixed into the regular seawater. I don't know why it's there,
Loh.
but no one should touch it.
Waduh.
Pipes. Right, the pipes. It's all coming back to me now.
Oke. Masuk. Terus udah gitu doang ceritanya. Apa apa sih bahasanya? Representasikan.
I'm in. Seems like this pipe hasn't been used in a long time. It looks abandoned. Where could Master Child be?
Dari Cilde ya. Oh, bener kan? Jadi dia, Cok. Langsung lah terjun lah. Mana nih?
This mechanism looks like it's been tampered with. Could he have done it?
Iya. Ini tak-taki kayak ASR, Cok. Naik terus ke kanan puter. Oke.
It's getting stuck on something. Seems like I'll have to avoid those obstacles while I turn it.
Apa yang halang, Cok? Bentar. Oke, cukup. Harusnya begini sih. Puternya dari atas. Yoi. Nah, emang jago, coy. Terus naikin. Emang jago banget gua, bro. Mana nih? Ke bawah ya? Oh, ada sesuatu di sini. Ada ya?
This is where the water starts. Okay. Master Child probably dived into the water.
Begitu. Bentar, so ini kenapa sih? Yang digeser jadinya cuma pinggirnya doang. Pakai ini primordial sih. Apakah pipa yang bocor?
Vegetation here is a bit more sparse. These traces aren't natural. A person must have left them recently. I should be going in the right. There are traces here too. I need to
Mana
keep
jejak?
going.
Wih. Mana jejak pocong?
Traces are gone, but I don't see where he could have gone from here. Wait, what the? My heart is racing, and it's getting harder and harder to breathe. What's going on?
Oh,
No good. I have to get back. They still don't know anything about what's going on. If I turn back right now, I should still be able to make it.
udah ada primordial sih situ ya? Oh belum, masih ini. Baru kena itu. Ini nggak mau pulang. Pulang nggak sih ini? Beliau? Oh iya pulang.
I can't die here. I have to push.
No. Oh ini ada sini nih. Tadi nyelamatin. Oh situ ternyata udah ada primordial sih. Kocak dari mana cok? Lama abad lama loading 1 abad.
So, in other words, the trail you were following vanished, and you had...
That's right. I tried my best to swim back, but I had already put some distance between myself and the fortress, and I just couldn't find the strength.
Miss Clarande brought you back, but we also don't know why she just suddenly appeared at the fortress, or why she went out to save you.
Miss Clarande, you say? I
Chlorine.
must go thank her in person.
You're still too weak, Fremine. You can go after you've had some.
Miss Lynette is right. I believe Miss Clarande will stay here as a guest for another few days, so there's...
A guest? Then I can assume Risley was the one who...
You should ask His Grace about that. He'll be able to explain better. Yeah, it's about time he actually told us what's going on.
Let's go.
No, please go on without me.
Lenny.
The logical part of my brain is aware that we're safe right now, but I still can't bring myself to...
Understood.
In that case, I'll
Okay.
leave the infirmary to you. The Traveler and I are going to head out for now. As long as you stay in here, I don't think you'll be disturbed.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Alah. Ini kayaknya digede aja deh. Party apa yang bisa berdua cok? Hyper belum rame kan? Ada udah ini aja dah. Nggak bisa ganti bayonet anjir. Oh bisa kaca nih kayaknya. Oh enggak belum. Sorry. Bukan sekarang sudah bisa kaca. Belum 20 lagi. Masuk ke kantor. Kantor bapak besar. Udah sejam. Tanggung lah, tanggung. Bisa nggak ya ini selesai hari ini ya? Kalau nggak bisa malam dah, lanjut malam.
Excuse me.
Permisi.
I take it Mr. Fremene's condition has stabilized?
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Seedwing?
I wanted to check up on Miss Coran. How are you?
Mostly fine, I think.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just...
All right. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll take...
Well, want to explain yourself, Riley?
Of course. I'm not partial to the word choice of.
Silakan kalian sampai puas, Buset.
Where should I begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
And Paimon will...
No. I just knew they were Fatui operatives sent to the fortress by the Knave. As for their specific goals,
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to...
they came here with ulterior motives. Quite adept at discerning what that kind of behavior
Anjay.
signals.
Terus kenapa dibiarkan?
Initially, I thought their goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Many suggested that I had deliberately let him escape. But in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place, he did on his own. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went. So I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work.
So you were hoping Lydia's group would just do your work for you.
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremene has told you the Forbidden Zone is always Lenny's target. You got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true? That you're
Kamu
also
juga
a
mantan
former
kriminal.
Why would you put it like that? Isn't staying here all day and serving as the manager of the fortress a kind of sentence?
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask
Siapa yang mau
who
ngambil?
invited Coran down.
Me, of course. I paid her good mora to come
Buset.
down to the fortress for some field. As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving Fremene was part of that crisis?
Dan menolong Fremene termasuk krisis.
Think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were,
Fremene kan
he
orang
probably would have found the
Fontaine
missing
ya.
Harbinger already.
Bentar. Kalau nggak salah orang Fontaine kan kalau kena primordial sih itu larut jadi air. Nah kenapa tadi Fremene nggak langsung larut ya? Apa karena primordial-nya sedikit dan nyampur sama air biasa kan? Tadi katanya di laut kan, air laut biasa kan. Berarti primordial sih kalau ada air laut yang banyak nggak terlalu mempan dong. Cuma ngefek dikit doang berarti ya. Nggak langsung larut orangnya, cok. Tadi si Fremene begitu bisa jadi sih.
That's not something you should be asking after. Neverlet only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremen.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you answer our last question in return?
Maybe compelling case. Do you really want to?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to...
Even if the truth may not be pleasant.
Ya,
Follow me.
ikuti aku. Oke, apa nih? Apakah fakta baru terungkap? udah mager banget nih pakai tangan satu, sorry ya. Kamera acak-acakan coba. Buset, emang banyak banget cok di sini nih.
There's a hidden door here and a whole basement behind it. Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, right?
Wiro,
It seems
jago
you've
banget. Ya off lagi sih. RTO.
Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or... Whoa!
Paimon kan terbang cok, nggak berdiri, kocak. Lama banget nih. Cepat. Saya mau tahu endingnya.
This is the forbidden zone? Honestly, for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside. Hence, am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything from them.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Oke. Sering belajar dulu kayaknya. Coy, 1, 2, 3. Terus ini
Huh. So there's a switch on the side.
Stand back.
mundur, kocak. Buset. Bak ini primordial sih atau apa?
Whoa. They all just went up one by one.
Go on, have a look.
Wah, apain cok? Seru nih. Anjoy, apa itu? Fonta kah atau apa?
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore any potential danger that could be behind it. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this
Sudah berapa
place.
kali aku
But over the past year,
melihatnya, tapi
the needle has crept
setahun
upwards
kebelakangan
from its
jaringnya
original
jadi
position.
bergerak ke atas.
Likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimal. Normally I would have ignored it. But I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
Pelajari dikit tentu tidak parameternya acak. Apakah temperatur, tekanan air?
Very reasonable guesses. I've considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary.
Huh?
The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea.
Dorong.
I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis.
Lewatkan primordial, aku lalu membuat persiapan berdasarkan. Oh, misalkan.
Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that, and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of primordial seawater? But we're already under the sea.
Ada di dasar laut.
And that is precisely the problem. We're at the bottom of the sea, and now we're surrounded by toxic seawater. Somehow, primordial seawater got mixed in, and the concentration is steadily rising.
Entah bagaimana caranya tercampur dengan air biasa dan konsentrasinya pun semakin tinggi. Bocor ke laut.
Yes.
Apa?
Forget about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak.
Apa tuh Paimon?
Seems like you figured it out.
Di sini ya?
I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues, soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all.
Oh. Fonten akan jatuh bersama dengan robohnya pintu ini. Apakah
You know what the legend said?
next
This place falls,
beneran
and everyone
tenggelam,
in Fontaine
guys?
will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
Apakah kita akan beneran tenggelam? Wah. Gokil.
Why would the fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring.
Ya
It's
mu.
just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation
Mas
before
maghrib
I
pokoknya.
discovered it with my research.
Tapi yang menemukannya kembali setelah meneliti.
There's no single founder of the fortress
Enak coba atas mah.
in the traditional sense. What we
Beli
know
jadi
about its
coklatnya
history
beli
has
encer
been
kok.
left to us by the
Hari
people who
atas.
used to live here.
Nah, coklatnya jadi atas. Ada encer kan enak. Lumer. Bagus. Ada encer kok enak dari itu. Atas. Beli. Ya wis tak suwe nong. Awal-awal mau atas ya. Kan wis suwe ge. Tak dalan ning kene.
When the previous Hydro Archon, Egeria, ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals
Egeria.
away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished. The criminals received no sympathy of
Nama
any kind
Egeria.
from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold. Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity and said, "You may go guard my secret." And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. It became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow.
What's that?
As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress
Apa?
became the sinner's only home. And with that, the
Bukan.
people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld. Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontainian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian.
Apa?
Everyone else just they've made it all up.
Hah?
But now you know every part of that history
Flamel.
is true.
Ilmu.
That's just as the prophecy says.
Jurnalkan ya.
If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea.
Semuanya sesuai dengan ramalan itu, kalau gerbang ini jatuh maka semua orang larut dalam laut. Oh, menarik juga nih. Sumpah 4.2 nggak sabar, Cok. Soalnya 4.2 seru banget.
But sadly, that hasn't stopped
Trailernya.
this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hear
Udah banyak meme,
create
Cok.
the first
Meme
wave of panic.
udah download map konten malah tenggelam. Tapi nggak tahu sih beneran ini nggak tenggelam.
Let's go somewhere else.
Kayaknya yang tenggelam tuh yang di bawah deh, yang di atas enggak.
This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone.
Huh? Lorvine and
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any...
I'm skeptical as well.
Orang
Are you
itu
sure they are trustworthy?
bener kan komplotan kan nih orang. Dua Jiryu.
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. Good. Saves me a bit of time explaining. Edwin's main areas of research were Archaeum and
Nama Edwin.
gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
Oh,
you want to blow up the fortress of Merripit?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining it in my head.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's.
Ooh, are they together?
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
serius mau diledakin.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
Paimon.
Like, Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Wih, dan wow.
Let's spice it up a bit. And here you go.
Load.
What a huge ship! This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Seberapa banyak kalian tahu soal sejarah Fontaine?
Not much.
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria. To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sebila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he created his nation above the surging waves. He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
There's a ship in this story too?
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of the voyage.
Do Do you believe that too?
To a point, I think.
sedikit banyak.
As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the
Jadi
primordial
dia
sea
aku
might
mulai
lie
curiga bahwa
underneath the gate,
datang di
I also began this project.
Oh,
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
Maybe. Fontanians need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster. Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe.
benar.
As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call. Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
Di bang ada aja cok. Belum milih. Berarti kalau iya primordial sea-nya apa namanya? Jebol, itu kapal buat semua tahanan terus ngapung sampai ke atas. Alright.
I'll leave you here for now. No worries. But don't forget, it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Kata lain.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great. I look forward to what happens next.
Wow. Apa ini? Oh, udah. Kapan selesainya ya, kira-kira ya? Linet.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh. Actually, now that you mention it, while I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing
Down.
everything, from the leaves to the water.
Must have been Risley and Seashui.
Yeah, I heard one male voice and one female, so it should have been the 2 of them.
Really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to...
Yeah, he explained everything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and the Sijuin is also busy with something or other.
It's all right. Then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is...
Whoa, he's good.
That's our Lenny.
Anjay.
Risley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, what's more, the fortress of Maripede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Risley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the 2 factions are pitted against each other, Risley will be free to move between. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
Ini pintar menebak.
Super smart.
Mantap juga ini.
Thanks so much. If Risley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bar. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his
Ngantuk
chip
gini,
might
Cok.
be. But as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Risley have no...
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Tyler to his side? Which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter, the two of you have already aided us far too much. If you ever need anything else, though you may not share the sentiment...
Udah mulai ngantuk, Cok. Lupa. Biasa Paimon.
Paimon's hungry. Get you guys enough?
Aduh, Paimon. Hari-hari makan. Oh, mati nggak tuh, Cok?
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler Paimon, over here. Are you here for dinner too, Missy? And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss... Huh, you're right. She's... What would you like to eat? Yep, you can. I've already talked to our chef.
Aduh. Yang paling enak. Paling gede.
Don't forget Paimon. No problem.
Ini emang gini apa ya, habis makan coklat ngantuk gini, Cok.
So delicious.
Makan gratis itu seru.
Is this how it feels to be freeloaders? Wait a second, we did do plenty of work after all. Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious.
Minumnya bukan enak, semuanya enak.
I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see the expression on your face, Sijuin? Do you do this to help your... A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a melazine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I... You're really good at... Really? You're a... Oh,
Skip. Ngantuk.
Thankfully, Glenn, although the path was... Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Miss... You were all super consistent. It's just what we... Oh, I really wish Miss Sharon Nervula would come down here. Get a good night's rest.
Nah, kan bener mati, kocak. Ini ya. Ya nggak bisa ulti benet, Cok. Adalah cuy, lanjut malam lah. Lanjut malam. Aduh, Tegus semuanya, terima kasih semuanya nonton, udah nge-like, udah share, makasih ya. Aduh, lanjut malam coy, ngantuk anjir, habis isya lah, yes.